Hey everybody, welcome to Landscape Rescue. If you are looking for an opportunity to have your garden explode with color this summer, there's a combo that is so beautiful, so dramatic that it really absolutely steals the show. Every single year that I've been using this combo in my own personal garden, these three plants that I've used in conjunction with each other that just your eye immediately goes over there. You want to walk over there and you want to see them and you want to be part of that beautiful drama that these three, when used together, bring to the table. I'm going to show you how to put these guys together, and it's so easy that I feel guilty making a video about it, but I want to show it to you guys because I think you could really benefit from this. Let's create a dream team. So what I'm going to try my hardest to do is cover the three plants, how to use them, how to take care of them, where are we going to plant them, what kind of space you need. But the three plants are Panicle Hydrangea, so beautiful this time of year. Look at these guys, a hardy hibiscus, Panicle Hydrangea, hardy hibiscus, and then black-eyed Susans. You can see some black-eyed Susans right behind me, or any type of rudbeckia. And the great thing about it is they both bloom, all three of them bloom at the same time, so you're just overwhelming the senses with beautiful color. I tell you, they're the easiest plants in my garden. The first plant we should probably talk about, the elephant in the room, is the hardy hibiscus. I have three varieties of hardy hibiscus here. I have the Midnight Marvel, Starry Night, which is this white one back here, if you can see it. And it's not white, it's pink with a red throat. And I thought they really played well off of each other. I'm not a huge fan of red and yellow, but this red is so dark, it somehow works for me. I don't know how to explain it. It works, and I'm not talking myself out of a mistake, because I believe that making mistakes in the garden can be a whole lot of fun. Because, I mean, yeah, really, it's a good time. Hardy hibiscus comes in all different colors. You know, my neighbors are like, are those hardy here? I'm like, this thing laughs at zone 5. Do you see what I mean? It dies all the way back to the ground. I use mulch. I typically mulch in the fall. I don't typically lose hardy hibiscus. I did lose one last year over the winter, and I don't know what had happened to that guy. Anyway, no pups, no nothing. So anyway, I lost one. It didn't pop up. So, and I ended up digging it out and planting a rose over there, which has been eaten by these hardy hibiscus. They get big. Now, the Luna, on the other hand, the Luna only gets about 3 feet tall. So it gets, you know, I'm 6 feet tall. It's about right to my waist. And that could be used in smaller spaces. Just like a Panicle Hydrangea, a smaller Panicle Hydrangea, a smaller variety of rudbeckia or black-eyed Susans. Rudbeckia, you could do an autumn colors rudbeckia. Stays a little smaller. But literally, you could plant these all together and not have any problems at all, because it will be so pretty and it will be so easy to take care of. Absolutely stunning. So that is the hardy hibiscus, one of 3. Now, the second one I want to talk about is the Panicle hydrangeas. Now, Panicle hydrangeas comes in all different shapes and sizes, but for the most part, they're all white and they fade to pink. So like a fine wine, those petals, those panicles age to pink color. This flower bed is going to get absolutely baked here. You can see that sun kind of peeking up over the side of the shed. This is going to be absolutely baked here in about, I don't know, an hour. We're in full sun territory in this flower bed. So it gets a lot of sun, and I like that the hardy hibiscus kind of shades these panicles. They work so well together. These two work so well together. These are Bobo hydrangeas, and Bobo hydrangeas only get about 3 to 4 feet tall in full sun. Now, these are a lot whiter. I think they're closer to white on the color wheel. These don't necessarily fade to green because they're in so much sun. I think that would be a a good way to look at it. The more sun you have, the brighter these flowers are going to be. There's also a type of Panicle Hydrangea called the pufferfish, and the pufferfish is very pretty. It's a lot looser. It's not as grand of a dense foliage as this bobo. The bobo has a tendency to fall over in the storms. The cool thing about it is intermixed with these hardy hibiscus, because the Panicle hydrangeas get a second to pop, not the flower, the actual plant itself gets a chance to leaf out before the hardy hibiscus does. Or hardy hibiscus takes a long time to get going, and then boom, right? So you're thinking it's dead. Every year I'm like, oh man, when are those things gonna come out? And I'm constantly looking for life, I'm constantly looking for new growth, because it comes from the ground every single year. So you cut it back to the ground, and then every year it starts fresh. They kind of give the Panicle hydrangeas an opportunity to kind of get established a little bit before they pop up. And sometimes they can intermittently, if you plant it like this, as the bobos grow and everybody's putting on serious growth by that point in the spring, by the time the hardy hibiscus are waking up, that they kind of intertwine and they will support each other, even in those rainy spring rains, those thunderstorms that we get. All the way into the summer if we get summer storms. What a great plant, and how much fun is it to look out your backyard, or when I'm throwing the ball for my dog and I get to enjoy all of this stuff. It's so much fun. So you've got the pufferfish. Now if you want more height, you could go with like a limelight hydrangea, which is not something I necessarily recommend. I would probably recommend a firelight if I needed some big plant energy back there. It would be the firelight. I would go with the firelight, or a fire and ice, or a quick fire, right? I get fire and ice and quick fire mixed up. Fire and ice is supposed to stay a little smaller. Quick fire is supposed to be taller. And then there's even one called little quick fire, which gets about the same size as a bobo, and a tiny quick fire, which is supposed to stay 2 by 2. So this combo can be used in a lot of different spaces. You just need width, right? So you can build a good profile, right? So, man, this works really good on berms, guys. Man, this works good on berms, because you get that dance floor, right? It's an elevated dance floor, and you can see the entire thing, and so staggering your heights isn't as important. So you can have some hardy hibiscus maybe as a mini central point. You could use lunas and little quick fires, or lunas and bobos, lunas and tiny quick fires, and then have a smaller rudbeckia that you can mix in there also. I mean, what a great combination. I am so impressed with this every single year. And I've been working really hard on another project, and I have been telling myself, you have got to do a video this year about that combination. So that is the Panicle hydrangeas. And we have talked, there are so many videos on my channel where I'm talking about Panicle hydrangeas. There's actually one kind of dedicated video where we talk exclusively about panicles, and then some where we accidentally talk exclusively about panicles, because I love the Panicle hydrangeas so much. They're so versatile, and the hardy hibiscus and the Panicle hydrangeas, they both take the same amount of water. You could probably wipe out a Panicle hydrangea giving it the kind of water that a hardy hibiscus can handle, because hardy hibiscus grow naturally just in boggy areas, in fields and stuff around here, without any kind of human interaction. There's a place where I like to take my son fishing, and we go down this old farm road to this old iron bridge, and there is a huge field, and when it floods, this field floods, and there is hardy hibiscus everywhere. All right, so the next plant in the combo is the is the Black-Eyed Susan. Now, this variety was a donation from one of my buddies who's a contractor. There's a lightning bug just float right by me. Gonna go hang out in the hardy hibiscus. Gonna rest up for the day. It's been a long day. Been a long day trying to chase them ladies. This Conan the Barbarian of the garden, I've called it that before, persona to it. I don't know if you can hurt this stuff. It's great for pollinators. It's great for the birds. It's the exclamation mark of summer. That's the best way that I can explain it. It is literally an exclamation point for the summer. That quintessential, beautiful prairie flower. And it's got its native roots, so it just does well in a lot of different situations. The great thing about Rudbeckia in general, now this variety I believe is Gold Rush. It's Gold Rush. I sell a lot of them. They don't have the big giant blooms like Autumn Colors Rudbeckia. If you wanted something that is pretty drought tolerant and disease resistant, I think Gold Rush is a good option for you when it comes to Rudbeckia, which botanically is a Black-Eyed Susan. I mean, Black-Eyed Susan is a variety of Rudbeckia. I don't think you're going to be disappointed regardless of which one you go with. I really don't. I don't think you're going to have a hard time with any one of them. I think just Rudbeckia in general, free seed. Like, it's one of those free seeding perennials that when you have them in your garden, you have a lot of them. You know, not as crazy invasive as a primrose, but they do, like Missouri primrose, they do have a tendency to be kind of bullies. The great thing about it is they can't bully a Panicle Hydrangea and they can't bully a hardy hibiscus. That's why this works so well as a combination, because they're not going to be able to push them around. They can't push around primrose. They can't push around echinacea, purple coneflower. So once you get this backdrop, Panicle hydrangeas, depending on the variety, your hardy hibiscus, you can start really moving in with the Black-Eyed Susans to fill in that lower space, right? So if you want to work in tiers, you can work in tiers, right? So a larger, maybe a little lime, a pufferfish, a bobo, they're going to grow a little slower than the hardy hibiscus, because the hardy hibiscus just go. See, that variety right over there is a white wedding, and it is doing fantastic for me. It doesn't fall over in the storms. It seems very drought tolerant. We haven't had rain in 5 days. The first time I had watered this season was yesterday. Just because I want stuff to look vigorous and I want stuff to look good. So I wanted to water. So I had to go buy a new sprinkler because I don't have my hillbilly irrigation set up in this yard yet. If you wanted to do tiers, just dial it in how you want it to feel and to look. If you wanted to do a beautiful backdrop of Panicle hydrangeas, go with some firelight, go with some 8-footers, go with the quick fire would be just, that's a beautiful type of hydrangea, or a fire and ice would look real pretty. And then come forward with the big boys like the Midnight Marvel or the Starry Night. Midnight Marvel is a superstar. If you don't mind this violet red colored bloom, then Midnight Marvel might be a really good choice for you, especially up against that red. That's some drama. The white against the red, that's powerful. That is a powerful combination. Or you could go, if you weren't that excited about red and yellow combination, which for some reason for me this works. I don't know. I'm not making excuses, but it's so pretty. You could go with the Starry Night, and then you would have white, pink, a little, not as much contrast there, into the yellow, so you're still kind of staying in with those pastels. I think that would look really pretty. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. You could even, in front of the Black-Eyed Susan, go with some, if you wanted some earlier seasonal color, you could do some salvia or something like that, and I think that would look really pretty too. And then even in front of the salvia, you could go with some creeping phlox or something to really bring you into the spring, get you excited for what's to come, because this is why I get excited in the spring. This right here is what excites me when I start seeing phlox come up, when I start seeing daffodils come up, right? When I see that stuff in the garden start gaining some traction and start being real pretty, and people start slowing down in front of my house to look at all the daffodils and all the salvias and things like that. I just, in my head, when I see them slow down and look, and it's pretty blatant. It's pretty blatant. I mean, they're slowing down for that particular purpose. I just look at them and I say, just wait. Just wait. You guys haven't seen nothing yet, because I've got Black-Eyed Susans, Panicle Hydrangeas, and hardy Hibiscus coming. And that's the power play, right? In my yard, that is the power play. And I don't know, I just get so excited. I challenge the idea that I need any other season than this season right here. I mean, for me personally, and I have that internal conversation. Do I need evergreens? Do I need more spring color? And one thing that's really fun to do is, the hardy hibiscus are so slow to get going, is work in daffodils with your hardy hibiscus back here, right? So as these guys are very sleepy, they're taking their time, the daffodils are done. They're done. And so I don't know. It's a very fun combination. And I wish you guys all the success in the world with something like this. You're going to need a little bit of elbow room. This is not a combination for somebody for a small garden. You can mitigate it a little bit, right? But you're still working in the 3x3 world. So you think you're at least going to need, I would say, honestly, a 10-foot flower bed. I think if you could do a circle in the center of your yard, build a berm, 10 to 12 feet, I think easily. So that way it would allow you to have a central point, maybe a weeping redbud or something like that in the center, so you could get some more spring color in there. A weeping snow fountain cherry would be real pretty, but they're going to want, I would say a traveler redbud or something like that in the center, and then you could have all of your hardy hibiscus just really, or a ruby falls with that purple leaf would be real pretty. You're going to need some room. So let's recap. The reason this works, it works because they all bloom at the same time. They require the same watering. The hardy hibiscus and the panicles are going to require very closely the same amount of water. So you could come in here and you could just set your hose down on a pencil thin trickle and just let it just soak the entire area, and both of these would reward you for it. That's actually a really good technique for these, is just soaking the area once a week. Works really good, or once every 3 or 4 days, just depending on how hot it is. Then the Black-Eyed Susans can fend for themselves at that point. If you're doing something like that where you're just soaking the area, Black-Eyed Susans can fend for themselves. I very rarely, I go through periods where some years I am on the water. I am every other day watering for an hour with my misters and drip irrigation, and everything seems to do fantastic. You would think I would lose Black-Eyed Susans, I would lose Echinacea. I don't, especially on my berm side. If you went with a smaller variety, just know everything, especially if you're using an inoculant like beneficial fungus, beneficial bacteria, you're fertilizing with 2-year fertilizer tablets, or you're using a slow release like that Lesco 14-14-14 that I like to use, things are going to be very, very happy. And when things are very happy, they take up a lot of area. So I would say definitely leave yourself some wiggle room here, some elbow room per se, and I think you'll be a lot happier with the result. This bed should probably be another 3 feet larger than it is. Okay, so I'm over here gushing, I'm over here talking about how great everything is, but what I do want to give you the drawback. The drawback is this isn't going to really supply a whole lot of winter interest. The caveat to that is you're going to get 3 months of just absolute stunning, dramatic beauty out of it. So keep that in mind. You could do maybe a central, especially if you had a berm, your central point could be an evergreen, weeping Alaskan cedar or something just really pretty like that. It would be nice if you could have something in full sun that would get full sun 360 degrees around your focal point to give you something to look at in the winter. But just keep in mind that you're going to need to expand your bed even more, because when things are happy, and we make plants happy, we do. We human beings are really, really good at making sure plants are happy. We talk to them, we give them kisses, we give them cuddles, and we give them food, and we give them plenty of water. They don't live like this in the wild. So your Fat Albert Blue Spruce is going to be bigger than maybe, or it's going to be at the end of what is possible for a Fat Albert, or your Weeping Alaskan Cedar, or your Skyrocket Juniper, or whatever you're using as something stately in the center. Maybe something you can sprinkle some tinsel on in December. You're going to get an opportunity to see its full potential because you're good at this. And if you're not good at it, you haven't watched enough of my videos, because we'll keep you, we will keep you moving in the right direction. I promise. Between myself and the people in the comments, and if you wanted to join the Facebook group, we have a subscriber-only Facebook group. It's Landscape Rescue. Go there, and I promise we're not going to let you fail, right? And if you do, you're not listening. So that's it. If you like this content, guys, feel free to subscribe. I don't typically ask for subscribers because really I love it, the comments, and that's more important to me, is being able to communicate with you guys in the comments. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, all of the supporters for this channel. I haven't released a video in I'm going on a week and a half because I've just been going at it in my veteran neighbor's backyard. I have a disabled veteran that lives across the street from me, and I am helping him as much as I can. He's in his late 70s, fought cancer, and so I'm back there. I bought a chainsaw. I know you guys are proud of me. Bought a chainsaw, and I've just been going ham on cutting his volunteers out of the back and trying to save some redbuds what I could. Anyway, that video's coming, but man, it's a long project, and it is hot. This combination really does well in the summertime, and summer is not being squeamish this year. It's kicking my butt. Yeah, all right. Guys, this is Landscape Rescue. I'm Stuart Moore. I am so happy to bring this to you. I hope if you've got any questions, or if you have a favorite combination, you can put it in the comments and we can talk about that too. What would you add to this? That's another really good one, so we can communally talk about it, and maybe somebody reading the comments will be like, oh, I didn't think about that. I'm gonna do that for this flower bed. So, all right. Thank you very much, everybody, for letting me into your home, talk about plants.